Lion, the Bear, and the Fox. A piece of meat was lying on the ground. A lion and a bear both saw it at the same time. The lion and the bear started fighting over the piece of meat. A fox saw them fighting for the piece of meat which was still untouched. He stood there waiting. After some time, the lion and the bear became tired fighting and sat down. The fox quickly seized the chance and ran to pick up the meat. The lion and the bear were too tired to do anything. They could just watch the fox eating the meat. Both of them thought,
It would have been much better to share the piece of meat.
Moral of the story? It's better to share than to fight over something. The Milkmaid and Her Pail. A milkmaid was walking to the market with a pail of milk on her head. As she was walking, she started wondering about what she would do with the money she would get for the milk. She thought, I will buy hens from the farmer. The hens will lay eggs every morning. Once the eggs have hatched, I will sell the chicks for money. With that money, I will buy a nice dress and wear it to the fair. Men will want to talk to me, and women will be jealous of me. I'll toss my hair like this. As she thought, she tossed her head back. The pail fell on the ground and the milk was spilled. The milkmaid was sad. She went back home and told her mother what had happened. Her mother replied, My dear, do not count your chickens before they hatch. Moral of the story? You should not count on something before it happens. Sun and the Wind. The wind and the sun were arguing who among them is more powerful. To settle their dispute, they agreed on a trial of strength. The sun said, Let's see who can remove the shepherd boy's cloak from his back the quickest. The wind tried first. He started blowing strong gusts of air. The rabbit clung to the tree, and the sheep held the fence tight. The shepherd boy started shivering and held on to his cloak tighter. The harder the wind blew, the tighter the shepherd boy held on to his cloak. Finally, the wind gave up. It was the sun's turn. The sun started shining brighter and brighter. The shepherd boy felt very hot. He took off his cloak and sat under the shade of a tree. The wind angrily asked, How did you do that? The sun smiled and answered, Gentleness can be more powerful than force. The wind accepted his defeat. Moral of the story? Being gentle can be more powerful than using force. Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. Once, a town mouse was visiting his friend, the country mouse. For dinner, the country mouse served him only barley and grain. The town mouse pitied the country mouse and said, You should come with me to the town. I'll serve you all sorts of fine food. The country mouse agreed to come with him. The next morning, both of them went together to the town. They arrived late at night. The town mouse suggested that they should eat after such a long journey. He took his friend to a grand dining room. The country mouse had seen nothing like it. The dining table was filled with the leftovers of a fine feast. They ate cakes, jellies, cheese, and everything nice. The country mouse was thinking about how lucky the town mouse is. Suddenly, they heard growling and both of them panicked. The town mouse shouted, "It's the cat! Run!" They ran as fast as they could. "I think I'll head back home," said the country mouse. "I'd rather have barley and grain and live in peace than eat cake and cheese and live in fear." Moral of the story: it is better to live in poverty and in peace than to have plenty and live in fear. Wolf and the House Dog. Once there was a wolf who was starving. He saw a healthy house dog passing by and greeted him humbly. The house dog saw the wolf's sad condition. He asked the wolf to accompany him to his master so that he can get some food. The wolf felt very lucky and immediately agreed. Suddenly, the wolf noticed that the hair on the dog's neck was worn and the skin was chafed.
What is this?
Asked the wolf, pointing at the dog's neck.
Oh, it's nothing,
Said the dog.
This is where the collar is put on to keep me chained up. Chained? Then goodbye to you, Master Dog,
Said the wolf and ran away into the woods. Moral of the story: there is nothing worth so much as liberty and freedom. 2 stubborn goats. There was a swiftly flowing river, and a narrow log was the only way to cross it. 2 goats came at the same time on either side of the log, but their pride wouldn't allow the other goat to cross first. One set foot on the bridge, and so did the other, until they met horn to horn in the middle.
Let me pass first,
Said one of the goats.
Never! You get out of my way,
Said the other. While pushing each other, both lost their balance and fell into the river. Moral of the story: it is better to yield than to come to misfortune through stubbornness.